What's up, everybody? Survive and protect. And we have another question, a self-defense question, which I will hope will help everybody who checks out these videos. And I'm going to tackle this question here. You're going to see it pop up. And let me give my normal responses as I always do. Whoops. Let's get that here. All right, let me just grab the link to my channel. You guys see that right there, Survive and Protect. All right, let me go back here real quick. All right, let's paste on the link and we ready to go. All righty, there we go. Okay, so the question is there a self-defense method for a person who is 64 with artificial knees? All right. Here is my best answer to this question. And again, the question is there a self-defense method for a person who is 64 with artificial knees? All right. So I wouldn't say there's, let me see, you said self-defense method. I would look at it in the sense of you would have to, again, like I answered in some other questions where there's going to be some variations in this answer, but it's kind of similar to other questions to a degree. With artificial knees, which looks like you would be less mobile, I don't know to what degree of artificial knees, meaning that you can't move at all from the knees down, or your mobility of moving is very restricted. And so you can't move and dodge and do things like that because of the artificial knees. I don't know if the artificial knees allow you to move better or not, or to a certain degree for a 64-year-old to move with some decency. And so again, what you need to learn is to learn how to deal with situations as they are presented to you, whether you're sitting down and you're being attacked. Like, let's say you're sitting on a bus, because I remember a video where there was a gentleman, but I think he was probably in that age range, and maybe some of you guys might have seen it in the past. Supposed to have been some military guy, but he was able to get up and start punching the other guy. And so that doesn't give you similarities, but to a degree other in the sense of age. But you can be sitting down, like I said, in a bus, in a train, a plane, and someone comes to attack. You have to have, now that you have artificial knees, you still have your hands. You're still able to move in certain ways. And so what you got to do is learn to use those to your advantage. Now, you might be able to stand up still, but you might not be as mobile, like I said, because of the artificial knees. So now you got to learn to deal with how your body moves, and you got to understand how your body moves and learn how to take advantage of that. And so that might require, and like I said, this is my mindset. I'm not saying it's everybody else's. And some people might say, oh, that's MMA because they got to do stand up and they go to the ground. Well, I say mine's is different, although it might sound like that. And what I'm saying, what I mean by that is this: I have the mindset of being a holistic person when it comes to protecting myself, whether standing, whether in a clinch position. Also, that means I could be sitting in a car, somebody comes in to attack. I could be sitting on a bus and somebody comes in, a train, a plane. I could be at a restaurant seat, or I could be leaned up against a wall somewhere and somebody comes. And so my approach is dealing with any way somebody attacks. I got to learn or know how to protect myself in any situation. If somebody brings me down by surprise, or in this case because not having the best of knees and I have to go down with them, you got to learn how to deal with that and how to deal with people on the way down. It might be things you can do to put yourself in the position, or to damage a person by the time you hit the ground, they're out. So it's certain thing, and then if not, then you're on the ground. You got to learn how to deal with that with bad knees. And so a method I would say more or less is just starting to learn how to strike or take advantage of opportunities when you see things open. You see targets that are available to you that they're leaving open. Learn how to strike those targets to really destroy the person on the ground. Sometimes they're grabbing you by the legs or the waist. Well, their arms are now occupied and their head is available, their neck is available, their eyes are available. And where I say this differs between, because people might say, well, that sounds like MMA. But where that differs is in MMA, you're not allowed to gouge eyes. You're not allowed to stick your finger up somebody's nose and try to rip the nose off their face. There's other things you can manipulate on a person's face or body that you're not allowed to do in MMA in a ring. And so my mindset is more dirty fighting, the dirtiest of dirties that you can think of. Opportunity to take weapons that somebody takes you down. You got bad knees. You come to the ground. You might be in an area where there's dirt. So while they're doing all this, trying to manipulate you and use their shoulders to pin you in, you have a hand that's free that can grab dirt, and at the right time, you can smear it all and take your fingers and push the dirt all in their eyes, and they start blinking, and that gives you some seconds to deal with them having to deal with what's happening to them. Leaves them open for opportunity for you to do something to them. And so that's what I would suggest, is learn targets on the body, learn how to be aware of your surroundings in the sense of knowing what's useful to use to your advantage, learning how to deal with any attacks, learning how to deal with having to fight in any position, standing, halfway standing, on your knees, on your side, on the ground, fully stretched out, in a chair, driving and being attacked, riding a bike and being attacked. Learn how to fight in all those situations, and you'd be a lot better off having to protect yourself. And that's my short answer to that, man. So I hope that this answers your question, and maybe it sparks some ideas on how you can train to deal with having artificial knees. And anybody else who has, whether you have artificial knees or you just got some bad knee problems and it doesn't allow you to maneuver the way you want to. You just got to learn to deal with what you got and start taking advantage of how you move, and know that you still can protect yourself in those circumstances, with those situations that's going on with you. All right. And also that includes knowing how to de-escalate to the point where maybe you don't have to fight. You can't leave that out. That's all part of your toolkit, if you want to say, even want to use that, part of your strategy and your tactics. Also involves just talking a person down. That's a strategy as well. That's a tactic as well. And then if all else fails, then you have all this other backing. You know how to deal with being tackled and your knees are bad. You know how to exploit for a second or two while you're being taken down. You can grab the back of the head and thumb an eye. And then at the very least, it makes a person react. And that's another part of it before I get out of here, is that also understand reactions to your movements, what the reactions are when you do this to a person, when you grab them by the throat, or what are the most likely reactions a person is going to do. Are they going to still allow you to have your hand on their throat and squeezing their voice box and crushing their larynx, and while they still trying to wrap you up with their hands, you think they're gonna really keep trying to wrap you up? They're gonna want to get that hand off. Well, that's a distraction that you could take advantage of. That's a reaction that a person does. What if you put a hand in their eye? What if you just try to scratch their eye? What's a general most likely reaction that they would do when you're doing that? They want to get away from they want to get away from your eyes. They want to grab it and pull it out the way before they can continue going back to get you. You got to learn how to take advantage of all these things here that'll make you a more, I would say, a complete fighter in a way, a complete person in how you deal with having to protect yourself. All right, that's the mindset I have. I want to know. I want to know how to break things. I want to know how to do. I want to know, come up with the most dirtiest fighting I can possibly do, because in a general sense, most people fight in a certain way because we've been programmed through videos and TVs and watching fights and watching boxing. So most of the time, this is what people's going to do. You got to go outside of that box that everybody's been putting themselves in, or we've been put in. You got to learn how to go out of that box. All right. So that's what I suggest in regards to your question. Is there a self-defense method for a person who is 64 with artificial knees? All right. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys for checking out Survive and Protect, and I'm out. Peace.